Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Say What podcast. My name is Hannah, and on this podcast, I talk about toxic purity culture, marriage, relationships, sex, girly things. It's a really fun time here at the podcast. And if you're watching on video, I got a haircut. That's right, I got a haircut. I'm so brave, so strong, so courageous, braver than the Marines. That was a joke. And I got my hair cut. I cut curtain bangs, and she cut the length as long as she could, but I needed to freshen up. I needed some bangs, and it's so fun. I will admit that the hair I currently have at this exact moment is a blowout, and this is not how I style my hair, so it does look a little bit different, and it's like taking me a little minute to like get used to like the blowout look, but when I can style this hair myself, I am obsessed. I mean, I do like the blowout, like I'm not lying to you, but if you've been around for any amount of time, you know I got my haircut back in July, and it was horrible. The haircut looked great, but it was just not the haircut I asked for. So I was feeling very insecure, very sad, very much like, what is happening? This is not what I want to look like. I just felt so bad about myself, and I've been trying so hard to grow out my hair. And let me tell you, the stuff that I'm using to grow out my hair is working. Like, it really is. I cannot believe how long my hair has gotten from using the HG shampoo and conditioner. It is seriously so good. I will link it in the episode notes. Like, my hair does grow fast. Like, yes, like I'm not going to lie to you about that, but I really think that this product has helped significantly because I've noticed all my baby hairs from like my postpartum hair loss have all grown back a lot more than they had before. So that's been really exciting. And I really think that's because of the shampoo and conditioner, because before my baby hairs weren't really growing, like the little piece that I have like that's like hiding in here was not going anywhere, and it was just like as long as it is, but it's gotten a lot longer and a lot stronger, so I know it's because of the shampoo and conditioner. So it really is great. It's like $40 for the shampoo and conditioner, which is expensive, and that is more than I would pay for a shampoo and conditioner. But if you're trying to grow your hair out, this is the way to go. So I'll link that in the episode notes, but I'm very excited. I went to somebody new, which was also very scary because the last time I went to somebody new, she cut my hair too short, but I literally practiced to Thomas what I was going to say to the girl before I got my hair done, which is so crazy. But I was like, I cannot mess this up. Like, I need to make sure that I say the right thing, because not that I didn't say the right thing last time, but I had to be in sync. Like, we had to be in sync about my hair. And I practiced it with him, and so I felt really good about it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to clearly communicate. And I did. I clearly communicated, and it's the cut is so good. Like, it is seriously so good. I cannot wait to style it and like have it be how I normally. And when you pull it up, you guys, it's so cute because the bangs fall. And it looks so cute. It looks so cute. So I'm going to have to do some real work on my right side because my hair automatically curls in because that's just how my hair falls. And so I'm going to have to do some work, but it's so cute. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to try really hard not to be messing with it the entire podcast because that's really annoying for the YouTube watchers. Speaking of YouTube, I did post a YouTube video on its own, just the YouTube video, not a podcast, and I'm talking about Vaginismus and Valentine's Day. So this is the perfect episode. Like, obviously, it's a timely episode. It's Valentine's Day this week. I'm not putting out a regular episode about Valentine's Day. This is the episode that I'm going to put out, or have already put out for you guys, so you should go check that out. I am getting ready, and we are just like chatting about how it feels to have vaginismus around Valentine's Day and some ways to change your perspective. So it's really fun. And Get Ready With Me, just YouTube video, feels a lot different than a podcast because a lot of times I'm not like stop and start and trying to get my words right. And it's just like a lot more casual, which I'm already very casual and very authentic and vulnerable in these podcast episodes, which I really am about to be with this episode. I don't even have an outline written for this episode, but usually I like have an outline written, have points I'm going to make. I think about it. And I've written so much content over the years, but with the Get Ready With Me in this YouTube video, I'm just chatting. There's no plan. We're just going. We're hanging out, and it's a really good time. So I love those kind of videos, and I hope that you love it too. I can also link that in the episode notes as well. Well, what has happened to me this week? We've been sick. That has been really fun. So with Tate being in preschool, he is now getting sick, so that's fun, and he's passing it along to us. And I fear I'm getting a little bit sniffly. I feel like my throat is getting a little bit not great, starting as today, like the afternoon hit, I was like, oh, my throat's starting to hurt. So that's not great. It's going to be fine. We're going to push through. we got some sickness around us, and I watched the Grammys last night, which is so great. And I was debating on whether I want to talk about this or not, because I need you guys to like know that I'm not like pitting woman against woman. That is so far from who I am. So I'm not really a big Billie Eilish fan. Like, no reason. I just like her music is not necessarily my style because it's like kind of soft in some things. I really like one of her songs. I can't remember what it's called now. Like, I don't know. But anyway, I'm not like a huge fan of her music, but I'm also like, don't have anything against her. And I cannot believe she did not win anything at the Grammys last night. Like, that's crazy. The Weeknd's performance, I had to look away. Like, I could not look at it. It felt very like, very kind of like pulling of some like demonic things, which usually I'm not the person to like jump and say that, but it was just like not good. Like, I did not love the vibe of his performance. I didn't really watch it. Sabrina Carpenter's performance was chef's kiss, perfection. She is such a little princess. Like, I'm so obsessed with her. She's so fun. She's such a performer. She's such an entertainer. Like, I could not take my eyes off. I was just like bebopping around, like watching her, just smiling. Like, she's so fun and cute, and I just love her so much. And I love her album, and it's so fun to listen to. And do I relate to any of her music? No, but I have an imagination, so I just like love listening to things. I'm not somebody who has to only listen to music that I relate to. I like to listen to like all kinds of things. And so it's just like so fun to listen to her music and just like bebop around to it. But I cannot believe the Tortured Poets Department didn't win anything. Like, she did submit Fortnite as the songs for all of her stuff, and I not a biggest fan of Fortnite, but that album is hands down my favorite album. Before people would ask me, what's your favorite Taylor Swift album? Because, you know, I've been a Swiftie since the very beginning. Like, I sing I'd Lie. I know every single word, and it's not even a quote unquote like real song on her album. You know, like, it's just one that you had to listen to illegally. I have been there since the beginning, and it was always so hard for me to pick a favorite album. Like, I love Reputation. Spotify would tell me that my favorite album is Lover, because most of the songs I listen to are off Lover. But I also, some of my top favorite songs are from Folklore, and I loved Midnights as a whole. Like, the entire 3am version, I think, is a genius album. I loved it. But it was really hard for me to say, like, this is my favorite album, or this is my favorite album. Since the Torture Poets Department came out, this is my favorite album, and it is going to be extremely hard to top. Like, this is hands down my favorite album. I think it is a work of art. I think it is beautiful. I think the way that she explains the duality of life and what she's going through, and so many women can relate to The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. Like, I really think that song is like the best song, like, that she is one of the best songs she's ever written. I listen to The Black Dog all the time. It's so good. Like, she's such a storyteller, and it's so beautiful, and I cannot believe it didn't win anything. With that said, I did love Cowboy Carter. I listened to one album, or listened to it through like one time, and I thought it was good. And I do think that Beyonce like deserves a Grammy at some point, but I just did not know if it was this album. I was just really shocked that Billie Eilish did not win anything. Like, I just felt like she was everywhere. Her album was everywhere. All of the people who love Billie Eilish like say that this was her best album. Like, it's just really confusing, all of it. And then the Beyonce part with her husband being accused of raping a 13-year-old is also very conflicting for me. Like, I'm definitely not trying to support anything around that. He's been accused of it, and that's like definitely not anything I'm trying to associate myself with. So all this is very conflicting and hard. And I just wanted to bring it up because I just felt like I needed to get it off my chest somewhere that the Tortured Poets Department is my album. It is my favorite album, and I love it with all of my heart, and will continue to love with all of my heart. And speaking of like being accused of rape and things, I just also wanted to touch on a little bit. It's hard for me to get on this podcast every week and talk about topics and things and not just be like fully honest about how I'm feeling, how I'm doing, because I do have boundaries. Like, I'm not going to share my, entire life with, the internet all the time, but, I try to share as much as I can. I'm very honest to a fault. I'm very authentic to a fault. And I just like to stay away from certain topics, just that that's my boundary. And I have felt convicted before when sharing things that I feel like I shouldn't. I'm not trying to talk about politics, but everything that has happened within this past month has felt really crazy. And all I wanted to say about that is that if you are hurting or overwhelmed and like feel like everywhere you turn you're being blasted with another breaking news thing and that's exhausting to you, like, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm really sorry that is the state of our world right now. I'm praying so hard that changes. I really, I feel like it is important for me to know what's going on in the world, and it is a privilege to not have to know what's going on. And so but I've gotten to a point where it was like every time I was getting on Instagram to do my job, not just to like scroll, but also just to scroll, I was being inundated with breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, this, and I'm like, okay, this is so exhausting and so hard, and I just like can't take this information all the time. And so then we always talk about it, it's like we got to tell our parents to get off of the news. They can't watch the news, but I'm consuming it in a different way, and I've really got to turn it off. Like I've decided like I'm going to go mute some of the people that I love them, but I just can't see every single thing every single time because it is sending me into a tailspin. And it is like, in my mind, I'm getting in fights with people about things that are going on in the world, and that is just like not beneficial to anybody, and it is like tearing me down. And I'm not even really at this exact moment, I probably will be at some point affected by the stuff that's going on. Like my personal, actually no, that's not true. My personal life is affected by it. Anyways, it's really hard. And I just wanted to say that I am so sorry if this has been a hard month for you, if you're feeling overwhelmed by the fires, the news, all the things. If it's just a lot and you're scared, I love you. I'm really sorry. And I'm just with you. And that's really it. Like, I'm just with you. And that's pretty much this entire episode because I wanted to talk about our trying to get pregnant again journey this far because I don't know. I've been trying to think of what episode I wanted to record this week, and it doesn't feel like I can get on and talk about anything other than this because this is the biggest thing happening in my life right now. And usually people don't want to share anything about their pregnancy journey because it's just a private thing and you don't want people to ask you all the time. And that is the mindset that I was in for a long time. And then it has been month after month after month after month of negative tests, and it is just it's the only thing I'm thinking. It's the main thing I'm thinking about all the time. I'm really going to try to get through this podcast without crying. But it's something I'm thinking about all the time. And so it's hard to like get on and talk about, how excited we are for Valentine's Day or talk about like the new thing me and Thomas are doing or whatever and just like smile through it when in reality things are really hard right now because we really, really, really want another baby and we feel ready for another baby. I feel very ready for another baby. Tate's in preschool. We've got a pretty good groove with things. Like I just feel ready for that despite how hard pregnancy was for me because I was extremely depressed during my during pregnancy. It was really hard. I threw up for 40 weeks. Like everybody says second trimester is better. I did not experience that. I threw up for 40 weeks. Like I had no break. I maybe got some energy back in the second trimester, but I was throwing up. And I'm prepared to do that again. I have prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and asked God to like that is not going to be my experience next time. But even if it is, I'll take it. Like we are so ready for another baby and it's not happening. And it's really hard. It's really hard. I shared on my Instagram story my vision board and I blocked out something on my vision board and I don't like being like secret about things. The thing I blocked out was the initials of the baby that we're hoping to conceive. So like that's all that was because we have a name picked out. If we have a girl, we have a name picked out. If we have a boy, we have some like names that we would like. But it's just hard. Like we're in month 6 and it's just hard. And I feel like, sometimes like maybe I shouldn't tell anybody, but you know what? Like this is what I'm going through and it's really hard. And when you're not getting a thing that you want to have, it's really difficult. And every month I just kept being like, it's okay, it'll happen next month. It's okay, it'll happen next month. It's okay, it'll happen next month. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, why isn't it happening next month? Like, why isn't it happening? I know my body. My body very much tells me when it's ovulating. Like, I can tell from the cramps I get. I can tell from the certain, like, back ache that I get. I can tell from the discharge. Like, I know when my body is ovulating. And we are making it happen when it's ovulating. So it's like, why is this not working? And I, like, the first couple months when it wasn't happening, I was like, okay, God, I get it. Like the timing of this wouldn't necessarily be right. So like, let's move past. Cause we'd started trying and the Eden was launching and I was like, it probably wouldn't be a good idea to be pregnant, like right when I'm trying to launch my business, part of my small business. And I kept like justifying like, okay, well, it won't work this way because of this. Oh, it didn't work because of this. And or like this thing happened this month, or Tate was sick, and we didn't have a perfect week of trying like we hoped because of having a 2-year-old is hard, and we kept like making all these excuses, not excuses, but I mean real justifications. But I just kept being like, okay, it's not happening because of this, this, and this. But I'm at the point now where I'm like, why isn't it happening? Like, we are doing the things you're supposed to do. And I just think back to purity culture and how just horrible it is when it comes to pregnancy, because it makes you think that the minute you have sex, you will get pregnant. Like, it's literally the Mean Girls, like, you will get pregnant and die. Like, that's what purity culture teaches, as far as like, maybe not verbatim, but that's how it makes you feel. Like, if you have sex, you're gonna get pregnant, and that's gonna be the end of the world. And so when it's not happening for you, it's really hard. And I'm 29 years old. I've, gone through so much with purity culture. I've overcame a lot of purity culture. I sit here and talk to you every week about overcoming purity culture, but I'm not perfect. So sometimes those things like still come in my brain. And I remember before I got pregnant, I would like tell my friends, like, I have 2 things. I have this fear that for some reason it's going to be hard to get pregnant with a second child, like, or I'm not going to be able to. And the second thing is I'm afraid it's going to happen on the first try. So like because my body knows how to get pregnant, it's already done it once, and because like I know my body and my ovulation schedule really well, so like it's going to happen the first time. So 2 very opposite things, but because of that, I was like, well, I don't want us to try until we're ready. And then we started trying when we were ready, and now it's like the second one is coming true, where it's like, okay, it is not working out. And with Tate, it took 4 months. And when I was ovulating with Tate, Thomas was traveling, it just happened to work. And I know that's how that works. And I know that stress affects your ability to try to get pregnant. And the longer it goes, the more stressed out you are. So it's really hard, because you're like, okay, I have to try to be super calm and serene and not, stress out over this too much. It's okay. So you're like, okay, I'm going to do that. And I tell myself, like, Hannah, you enjoy having sex with your husband. So like, this is going to be a fun, bonding, intimate experience. And that's what I tell myself in my mind. But the reality is when you are you have to do it a certain amount of time. There's a lot of pressure there. And you also have a toddler, and you're exhausted, and toddlerhood is hard. And, you have a sick child 1 month, and the next month, your child is going to bed at 10 p.m. and waking up at 6 a.m. So like, there's not really many hours during the day to be able to do what you need to do. So it's like, it makes it hard. And then when you actually do the time, it's like, I'm so exhausted, and I also like don't have the energy, but you have to rally. And so it feels like you're doing a little business transaction, and that's not fun for anybody, and that's not sexy. So it's like not happening. So it's just like, it's really hard. It's really hard. And I knew that trying for a baby was hard because I did it one time, and I have told other people that like, it is a hard thing to do. And this has just given me so much of an insight to people who are experiencing infertility, because it also feels different this time because I do have a child. Like, if for some reason we're only able to ever have one, and like, knock on wood, God, please don't let that be the case, like, I at least have a child. So like, that's what I've been telling myself, is like, I do have a child. So it just feels different. Like, the first few months I was sad, but I was like, it's going to be fine. Like, it'll work out the next month. And then now it's like I said, we're at month 6. It's not working out. I've not been like testing my ovulation because I know when I'm ovulating, but like, I got the strips, I got the app, like, I'm going to be doing that this month. And so it's like, we're doing all these things. And I guess if we do 2 more months of tracking ovulation doesn't work, I guess I'll go to the doctor and just like talk to somebody and make sure all my levels are okay, I guess. And if anybody was coming to me and saying this, I would tell them like, it's going to work out. Like, the Lord's going to do this in his timing. Like, trust in him. Like, I would tell them all those things. And so I'm telling myself all those things, but it's just hard to like sit in that. It's hard to actually believe that. And, I've really been challenged at church and just at other places that all we have to have is a faith the size of a mustard seed. And that is what I'm going to cry. I'm trying really hard not to cry throughout this episode. That is what I've been telling myself, is just have faith the size of a mustard seed. That's all I have to have. God is not asking me to have this like big faith that like, and just be at peace and feel totally fine. And like, I just have to, I'm trying so hard. Don't do it. I just have to have faith the size of a mustard seed. The mustard seed is very tiny. Like, it's really very tiny. And so that's all I have to have. And so at night, I just keep telling myself, like, you just have to have faith the size of a mustard seed that this will happen for you. Like, having a child has brought us so much joy, and it's just like what we want to do in our family. We want to grow our family. And so I'm just having faith the size of a mustard seed. And that's really why I wanted to record this episode today, is just to talk about having faith the size of a mustard seed, because I think we often forget that, especially as Christians, that we are, in our minds, we're supposed to have this like big faith, and, we just have to have full, complete trust and no doubts and 100% all in. And that, to me, that is not a mustard seed to me. A mustard seed is telling God, like, I trust you a little bit, and it's really hard, but I am going to trust in you, and please give me peace because I don't have it. That's what I'm doing right now, is asking God, like, I trust you. The faith, I have faith the size of a mustard seed at this moment. The faith is not as big as mountains. It's not moving mountains, but it is the size of a mustard seed, and I'm asking you to give me peace. I don't have peace, but I'm asking for peace, that your timing is your timing, and you know best, and I'm just trying to be understanding. And even if I don't understand one day why all the timing of this worked out, I am just trusting that this is a part of your plan. And that's everything I'm having to tell myself, because if you guys are doing the math with me, if I get pregnant in the next month or two, we're having another November, December baby. And at this point, I want a baby. If I have another December 25th baby, great. We are just going to have a party. My friend said to me, maybe your family is just meant to have 2 months of celebrations. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, that is the mindset I'm trying to have, because we got Thomas is November 4th. I'm November 30th. Tate is December 25th. So we got lots of November, December birthdays around here. So if that's just what our family is meant to have, then that's what our family is meant to have. And I am just telling myself that. And if it doesn't happen within the next 2 months, and we're going through it again, then I get to have a baby in 2026. But I'm really trying to have faith and believe that it can happen for us this year. And I don't have many encouraging words if you're going through this as well, because clearly I am struggling with this. But something that has been helpful is like finding a new thing to do, like sourdough. Sourdough has been really helpful for me. I did want to be able to make some sourdough bread to like bring to friends, bring to family and friends, and like that be a way that I like serve others, is like to be able to make them bread. But having a hobby and learning something new has been really helpful during this time, because it kind of gets me out of my head. Like when I'm working on sourdough, like I have to focus on the sourdough. I have to think about the sourdough. I have to plan for the sourdough. Like you can't just like make it on a random Tuesday afternoon. Like there's time that you have to figure out, or else you're going to be up in the middle of the night. And I am not making bread that requires me to be up in the middle of the night. So I have to plan. I have to take time. I'm learning. I'm failing a lot. I've made 3 loaves that were all bad. So, I'm failing a lot. I am learning how to do it again. I'm having to adjust, and it is giving me something else to focus on to get out of my head, because I've just been in my head, and it also gets me off my phone. And this is something new for me again, like usually seeing pregnancy announcements. I do still have a big part of me that's like, yes, I'm so happy for you. That's so incredible. Like, I hope that we're pregnant together. Like, that would be so great. And then there's this tiny little bit of piece of me that's like, wish that was my announcement. And that's new for me. That doesn't happen. I don't really try to compare, because I know that comparison is a thief of joy, but it does like sting a little bit now. And that's new. I've not really felt that before. But having a new hobby has been helpful. I've also been indulging in old hobbies. I have been puzzling. I went to I went to Hobby Lobby today, and I got fabric that I'm going to use to put on some like pictures, which I'm really excited about. So like print out pictures for our family. So, I've got good things that are happening in my life that are coming. And again, I'm really just trying to get to the mindset and the place of like, if this does not work out in the timing that I thought, like it will be okay. And we've got people in our life praying for us. I have started sharing it with people, because again, like I understand, like I understand that like wait till your second trimester to tell people, because if you go through a miscarriage, it is really hard. You don't want people asking questions and all that. But I also am of the mindset that like if something is happening in my life, something as big as a baby and like carrying new life inside of me, like I want people praying for that. It is so important to me that like the children that I'm growing, the child that I have in my belly, like is being prayed over. And there is nothing worse than a first trimester. And so if I am struggling and like sick every moment and not being able to talk to my friend, like I need to tell them why. So like I am of the mindset of like, I want to tell the people that I'm close to and in my life what's going on. like early, I guess, and tell you guys what's going on too, because also like if something does happen, like I'm going to want that support. I'm going to want that support in my back pocket and be there. I'm not like telling everybody I've turned to at 6 weeks and I'm pregnant, but I'm just like wanting the people in my life to be praying for me. And so that was kind of my mindset with this too, is like, I know that once I start telling people we're trying, people are going to be wondering, people are going to be asking, and I just have to be okay with if somebody asks. And I am. And truly, like, I am okay with it if people ask, because I want to talk about it. Like, it's hard. I'm sad. I'm so sad. Like, I want to be pregnant and I'm not. And I'm sad about it. So I, at this point, have not been like offended if somebody asks. Also, I don't know that anybody has asked. Oh, I usually bring it up and someone will say, well, I was thinking about that. I'm wondering about that for you. And like, it is okay, in my opinion, for like the close people in my life to ask about it. And if you guys want to DM me and talk about it, that's fine. Because like, I'm sure you're going through this as well. And sometimes talking about it to a random stranger on the internet is easier than talking to people in your life about it for some reason. Just don't like say anything mean to me. I don't know that you would, but anyway, I'm a chronic oversharer and I've really been trying to rein it in a little bit, but here we are. This is my podcast and I'm just going to share the things that I'm going through. And this is currently one of them. So I'm just going to hope for the best, that it works out. And if you're in this boat, I encourage you to find a hobby, find something for your brain to focus on, get off your phone if you need to, share with people in your life. Like I've been really grateful for the support and grateful for the friends that have texted me and reached out to me and told me that they're thinking about me, because it really does mean a lot that I have those people in my life to check on me with that. So I hope that you have those people in your life too. And if you are going through this and you're feeling really isolated, because it can feel super isolating, like, I'm here for you. I encourage you to share with close people if you can, because it really does feel better when you have people in your life that you can share this stuff with. Like my friends know, and it has just been really helpful. Like when every month that I've gotten those negative tests and I look down at them, like it's been really helpful to just like have friends to text and to be like, hey, I'm so upset right now. Like I got a negative test. It sucks. Like I just like need you to think about me and pray for me. And it has been tremendously helpful knowing that like my friends are praying for me and are there for me and supporting me. And so, because I also try to do that for them. Like I try to be there for my friends and, think about them and pray for them and text them when I think about them. And so, as much as we're asking for help, we have to be the friend as well. So anyway, that is where I'm at with all this. That's what I'm going through. Hopefully next week we'll have a more like uplifting, fun, positive episode for you. And that will be it. When I'm pregnant, I will share with you guys when I'm ready, and I'll be really excited for that day. But until then, think about me. I'll be thinking about you. Like as I'm sharing all this, like I'm taking the time to pray for all of my Say What friends that are trying for a baby, that I'm thinking about you, and I seriously am praying for you, because it is just so hard and so isolating, and it's just so mentally frustrating and just spiritually exhausting. And again, we just got to have the faith the size of a mustard seed. And so that's what I'm trying for. And I hope that you'll be trying for that too. So I love you guys. That's all I got for today. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we will talk soon.